So let's bring it home. The most prosperous right that we have from the Constitution is the right to private property. All right? You cannot live in comfort unless you have private property. Can't. That's why if you go to China and you see how the people who are not elite live, they don't have any comfort because they don't have a right to private property. If somebody bought a brand new Ferrari, Beijing could take it. And maybe Cuba. They take it. The far left in this country does not want private property to be respected or protected by the Constitution. How do I know that? How many times have you heard from the Democratic Party, wealth tax, 2%, 3%, 5%. What's a wealth tax? That's a tax on private property. Okay? So they come in, the state comes in, evaluates what you have, what you've already bought with post-tax dollars. You already paid your taxes. You have money left over. You buy things. You acquire things. Government comes in and says, you have this, you have that, you have this, you have that. They add it up, and they go, we want 2% of that every year. So you got a farm, we want 2% of that. You got a house, you got cars, you got art, whatever it may be. If you are over a certain income threshold, and that threshold is arbitrary, could be $1 million in assets, could be 10. Depends on the state, depends on the feds. Government says, we have a right to take it as a tax. That's a double tax. Can't be double taxed. Not according to the Constitution. Congress has a right to tax, but not double, triple, quadruple, whatever. Every time they try, goes into court says no. If the left gains control of this country, and you're going to hear Biden, you just heard him, okay? He won't say he won't pack the court. If that happens, then all the stuff that I have, that you have, particularly if you're affluent, is going to be subject to the government taking it away from us. And it's going to be their calculations, not ours. They'll decide how much, what the threshold is, what stuff is worth. They'll decide. Can you imagine that? Private property? Private property then goes, bye. The government owns the property. They allow you to have some of it. You want to live in a country like that? I don't. And I know that Joe Biden won't stand up to the socialist communist movement that has to have that. You can't have the Green New Deal. You can't have socialized medicine. You can't have entitlements, guaranteed income, free college and all that without the wealth tax. You can't have it. We already owe 30 trillion. You want to owe 80 trillion? Then you don't have a dollar. Then the dollar just blows up and all the money you have in the bank disappears. So they have to pass a wealth tax. They have to confiscate private property to pay for all the far left vision. They have to. They want to guarantee income, guarantee a job, guarantee health care, guarantee education. Somebody's got to pay for that. And they're taxing people up to here now. In New York, where I live, it's insane. People are moving out by the hundreds of thousands to Florida and Texas and North Carolina because they can't pay the taxes. So who are they going to go for? They're going to go for the people who have assets and take them away. That's what this is all about. Now let's get it down to a lower rung, okay? So if you pack the court, there's not going to be any guns, all right? So the right to bear arms goes away Because the left will say, look at that militia clause, a well-regulated militia in the Second Amendment. That doesn't mean you, as a private citizen, can have a gun. You got to be in a militia. And a militia is an arm of the government, the National Guard. That's a militia. You can't form your own militia. So you can't protect yourself with a firearm. And it's not a matter of AKs or this or that or clips or bump stocks or whatever. All guns. No guns. Can't have one. You got one, we find you, you go to prison. You go to jail. And we fine you like crazy. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. That's the vision. Because if the citizens of the United States cannot defend themselves, they're defenseless. Not just against crime, but about the government. Against the government. Tyranny, you know what the word means? It hasn't disappeared. It's there. That's what Marxism, Black Lives Matter organizations, that's what they want. And that's what Biden won't stand up against. Kamala Harris wants that. Biden doesn't want it. Biden's just a puppet. All right? He doesn't care one way or the other. But Harris, she wants it. She was asked yesterday, would you stack the court? Wouldn't answer. And a non-answer is an answer. So I'm giving you the private property, I'm giving you the guns because they're vivid. You can picture it. But there are hundreds of other rights that will disappear once the socialist left starts to impose the big government tells you how to live. Now, this is absolutely true. Absolutely true. There's no, oh, it's not happening. It is happening. They say it. And the Democrats also say, we want Puerto Rico and D.C. to be states. That would be 4 more Democratic senators. And that would mean the Democrats control the Senate, wouldn't it? That's what they wanted. Biden wants it. Sure. Yeah. Now, that's not going to happen under our present Constitution because Washington, D.C. is a federal jurisdiction. Not going to change that, not with the court being the way it is, but you have 15 Supreme Court justices on there.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.